Okay, here's the exam 2 checklist. The format of the exam is much like what we did for exam 1. All right, so exam 2 checklist. So before class, you should organize your course materials. That would include notes, maybe print out reading assignments, have things ready so that you can use those for the exam, because the exam is going to be open book, open notes, but you can't use anything from the internet, so no internet or people. You can't use another person. All right, so you shouldn't be texting one another, obviously. Those would be a major honor code violation. Okay, so next, you get to use a calculator. No MATLAB, though. In general, I don't expect large systems of equations, like if you had 3 equations, 3 unknowns, I wouldn't expect you to solve that on an hour-long exam. Okay? And this part is important. You should print. That's the best thing. If you have a printer, that would be best to do. Print, but if you can't print it, if you don't have good access to a printer, you need to hand draw the answer sheet. And it needs to be the same physical spacing as the answer sheet that you see in the PDF. So you can open the PDF, take a look at it, get the exact layout in terms of the number of pages and the spacings of the problems. Okay, so if there's 2 problems on one page, on the answer the answer template, you should have the same 2 problems on those pages. So you need to get the exact page count right, and you need to it needs to be pretty close. Otherwise, things get really messed up in the grading system. Okay, you should have access to your phone, but it's only used for scanning at the end. It should not be used during the exam. All right, so those are the same things that we talked about last time. Open book, open notes, use the answer template, draw your own, get the spacing right. Only use your phone at the end. All right, so then you need to come to the Zoom room at the regular class time, or actually be best if you were here a little bit before that. Okay, so at the target time I would shoot for is 9:20 a.m. All right, remember, it is now Central Standard Time. Okay, we went off daylight time. So for those of you that are in different time zones, be sure and look up Central Standard Time versus Central Daylight Time. We are now on Central Standard Time, CST. Okay, so that's very important if you're in a different time zone. 9:20 Central Standard Time. Show up in the Zoom room, have your camera on, your mic muted, and ultimately turn off your sound when it's time to work the exam. Okay, that way if someone turns on their microphone and asks a question, it won't interrupt you. All right, you should also turn on the chat, because if there's any exam corrections, that's where that will show up. Okay, so once you get into the Zoom room, you should open Canvas. You should see a link that I open at 9:20 for the actual exam. All right, I'll send you an announcement about the exam template earlier that morning. All right, work the exam in the answer pages that you either printed or that you hand drew. All right, get the spacing right. Okay, the exam will stop. You should stop working at 10:35. All right, sometimes I give a little leeway if someone could obviously had some problems getting into the Zoom room or something, but 10:35, we're trying to do a hard stop at that time. This gives you 10 minutes to upload and scan your exam. If it takes a little more than 10 minutes, that'd be okay. I'm going to actually close the Zoom room at 11. That gives plenty of time to get this all done. But if you don't have everything up and done, I had some problems with this last time. If you don't have everything done, I'm going to close the Zoom room at 11. I'm going to look at GradeScope, and there's potential late penalties if your exam is not uploaded by then. Okay, so it's important to get that done as quick as possible. As usual, I understand if there's some problems, so you need to email me right away if there are problems. If you have a delay in emailing, that the situations become worse as the time moves on. So you need to, if there's a difficulty that you're having with bandwidth or submission or whatever, an email as soon as you have the problem is important. Okay, so that's it. Good luck on exam 2. I'll see you tomorrow morning in the Zoom room.